Okay. Well, I guess, somebody might be watching or not. But I guess I'll wait until there's someone coming. Um, hmm, I don't know if anybody will join me on this live chat today. Possibly. I see there's 2 people logged in. We'll see. 3 people. Wow. And nobody is. Hey, hello, Mike. How are you? Always a pleasure to have you in. 5 people. Amazing. So I'm a bit late today because I've just watched France versus Australia, which is a very fitting game for me because, well, I'm French and I'm Australian. Yes, I am Australian. Yeah, Mike. As I said, I was watching France versus Australia in a World Cup with a friend, and you watched the game. France was so lackluster. It was just incredibly disappointing to see a team with that much money. Hey, Alice. Salut. Guten Tag. Guten Morgen. Don't know what time it is in Germany. Yeah. So the game was it was a nothing game really. I mean, France won. Hello from Scotland. Long time viewer of your channel. First time coming. Oh yeah. Well, hello Jamie. Pleased to have you here. So I'm talking about football, soccer, whatever you call it. We call it soccer in Australia. And just to recap, we just France versus Australia in the World Cup, and I'm French and I'm Australian, so I couldn't lose really. But feel like showing you some records that I played this week. How about that, people? If you're here, you want to see records from there. Okay. Maybe I'll start because they're kind of in order of the order where I play them. I keep a box. So from last week. So the last video I made was obviously with Anthony Camplone. Rebretto, yes. Yeah, the second side is the real deal. You're right. The other road. Great record. Good score, Teddy. So the last video I made was with Anthony Camplone. And I'm not going to show you those records, obviously, because we showed them to you already. But the next day, after Anthony left, I have to say this week, just gone, I only worked 3 days this week, so I played lots of records. Played a pair of French jazz record, Jean-Erik Ponti, Sunday Walk, which is a lovely record from the 60s. I don't know exactly when. Just a lovely release. Has Wolfgang Downer on piano and Niels Henning Orsted Peterson and on bass and Daniel Humer on drums. That's a great band. It's great. This is a great record. Really fun record. If you want to get into Ponti before his fusion era, Ponti, the great French violinist. So I played this, and then I also played at the same time, or just after, another record of the same kind of period. It's Eddie Louis. He was a French organist. He was the French Jimmy Smith, Eddie Louis, you could say. and this is a great record too, Lewis. This is on one of my favorite labels, great label. No, the America Records. There you go. Isn't that a beautiful record label? America. This is really, really groovy. It's got Night in Tunisia by Dizzy Gillespie, which is also obviously very well known version by the Art Blakey band. Yeah, Autumn Leaves, great. Look at that, play that. These are records that I've got in my collection, but I don't play very often. And no one's really saying anything at the moment, but I'm just talking to myself. Then I changed direction and for that this Quicksilver Messenger Service, Happy Trails, which is a classic kind of live record from the sort of San Francisco psychedelic era. I think this is a flipback original from England. Original UK press. And if you've heard Who Do You Love, what a great sounding band, Quicksilver Messenger Service. Salut, Fred, and hi everybody. Pat. Hello, Pat. Salut, Pat. Patrick, I think, possibly. Yes, and then again a change of direction. I think I showed this the other day. The Shape by the Raincoats. Great record, really highly recommended. It's a post-punk record from one of probably the most original bands from that time period from England. The Raincoats is an Italian press on bass record, bass rough trade. I love the cover of this thing. It's just beautiful. It looks like what it sounds like. Yeah, so I'm still talking to myself, but it's okay. I'll continue. Yeah, what else? This is an absolutely fabulous record, Lowell George. Very, 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 very good record, this record. I mean, so for those of you watching and you've never heard of Lowell George, he was the singer in a band called Little Feat. And this is his only solo record, but it's got this southern rock boogie kind of feel and kind of a little bit of a sort of, I don't know, a little bit of a yacht rock kind of vibe to it, but in a good way. Not that yacht rock is a bad thing. But this, I feel, is a record that's very easily attainable for most people. It's not a very expensive. This would be, kind of like an obscure classic of sorts. Lowell George. This is he died sadly of a heart attack. This is from I think about 1977 or 1979. Thanks, I'll eat it here. Lowell George. And I think there's some great musicians on this, but I could be wrong. No one's saying anything. Je t'ai découvert il y a pas longtemps. Mais give me 10. Okay. So Pat is saying that he discovered my channel not long ago, and he's been watching my Gimme 10s. 8 people are live, but nobody's saying anything. Well, is Yacht Rockstar? Yeah. Alice Picard, yes. Well, I should really say Yacht Rock is, I don't know, maybe later period Crosby, Stills and Nash. Like, for example, I mean, your classic Yacht Rock is the album where they're actually on the yacht. They're actually sailing on the front cover. That's what's the name of that album? I think it's just called Crosby, Stills and Nash or something. No, it's not. I can't. My mind is like a sieve at the moment. You have to excuse me. I am still in a very strange place, mentally speaking. Milan Yankovic. Hello, Fred. Have you listened to jazz? Jazz discovers. Ah, thank you. I appreciate the nice comment. So your rock, yeah. Crosby, the Doobie Brothers, especially, um, especially. Let me get to those records because I don't remember the titles of those records. The Doobies. Some people are going to slam the shit out of me for showing you this, but I don't care. So, Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Let me find this. Yeah, these are beautiful records. Here's a few. I just pull out a few yacht rock classics. So this is a fantastic record. This is a yacht rock classic. And if you don't believe me, listen to Dark Star. There's a song called Dark Star. Not to be confused with the Grateful Dead's Dark Star. This is absolutely marvelous, this record. The Doobies. So this is so freaking funky. I mean, it's funky as all get out. Minute by minute. Everybody should own this record, in my opinion. It's just really funky record. It's just, I mean, there's so much soul and in there. It's not funny, really. And likewise for this is just a great sort of, blue-eyed soul, funky yacht rock classic. Doobie Brothers, The Captain and Me. And finally, I pulled this out to Ned Doheny. This is more obscure yacht rock, but it's really on point. Beautiful. The opening song, Get It Up for Love, is so good. I mean, just some examples. It's just basically psychedelic guys dressed like horse farmers. Yes, basically. Now, it's more like blue-eyed soul, you know, that California sound, vocal harmonies and all. Jazz from Japan. J Jazz. No, I've had my eye on this compilation that you're speaking of, Milan, but I haven't bought it. But I know I've seen it's like a triple LP or something, and it's from BBE maybe, the label. Look cool, but yet are the only yacht rock I really have. Yes, well, you know, the Bateau record is fantastic. The Bateau record is to die for. It's got this record here. Okay, 1 second. Oh, I know. Back there. Yes. This record, people, is freaking fantastic. This is just so good. I just can't stress enough how good this record is. This Bateau record, it is just absolutely amazing. I mean, that's yacht rock. Okay, let's. Oh, hello, Anat. Hey, how are you? So, yeah, the J Jazz compilation. Yeah, I know. It's. There's just so many things to buy. I'll continue a little bit with what I was talking about. So some records that I've got in my box there that I played. The Blue Nile. I mean, what to say about this record? This record is phenomenal. This is Hats. It's the second record. I think an original pressing. On what's the label? Virgin or something? Or yeah, Virgin. There you go. Lin Records, Virgin Records. This is just the epitome of sort of sophisticated art pop. The previous record, the Walk on the Rooftop, is also amazing, and I've been playing that too, but I don't have the vinyl. I've just got. I have just got. I'll show you. It's a bit shameful, but the only thing, the I've got a CDR of it. Shameful of me. But I was playing that too. I'd love to get this on vinyl, but I don't. It's too expensive, but it works well on the CD player. Yeah, Bateau is great. Yeah, that's what Pat says. You've got trouble considering as yacht rock. Well, it is. Well, sort of like. Well, how different is it from a late Crosby, Stills and Nash record? Not very different. It's sort of. I mean, that's why I call it yacht rock. I mean, you're right. It's probably not exactly that. It's probably like a Blue Nile record. Let's just call it that. Okay. Right. So the Blue Nile. Oh yeah, a very, very, very highly recommended band. I mean, if you haven't gotten to the Blue Nile, I mean, if you like the Associate or Talk, it's really on the same wavelength. But there's a bit of Bowie in there, I think. There's quite a bit of Bowie in the Blue. Paul Buchanan is the singer. Beautiful voice. Okay, I'm going to continue. So, Blue Nile. And to go with the Blue Nile, I also played again, actually just side one of Sade, Diamond Life. And I'm just really stuck on Hang On To Your Love, which is the third song. I just find that song hypnotic at the moment. I don't know why. I'm just playing it to. I know why. I was driving in my car and it came on the radio, and I go, "Ooh, I've got to revisit Sade a little bit." Mind you, I love Sade and I've played it a lot before, but that song just got stuck. Hang On To Your Love. It's a mix of soul and folk. Yeah, you're right. It's soul folk. Yeah, you're right. You are right. There's no, but like yeah. Well, I said blue-eyed soul. It works. It's kind of, and then so I'm talking about Sade, and then what do I play after Sade? Yes, In Full, which is amazing because it's not the kind of record that you. Yeah, it's very. It takes a lot of courage for this to be played in full at times. No, it's a great record, but it's it's modern art. That's what it is. That to me is what I call modern art. It's like it's like a Miro painting or a Di Chirico painting or a Magritte painting. It requires a little bit of thinking and isolation and meditation. This is a great record otherwise. I mean, not easily accessible, but you get my drift. Okay, let me read some of the comments. Hello, Alan, Static Traveler. Hello, Jamie. Killer Groove on Hang On To You Love. Yeah, groove. Killer Groove. Balearic vibe, yes, I agree. 80s jazzy sound from London. Now, the other day, somebody asked me, could I recommend something that was like Sade? And I thought of it, and I've got something. Just give me a second. Actually, I'll turn the camera so you can see me go fossick. Okay. I'm back from the brink. There you go. Here I am. So somebody asked me something like Sade. I would highly recommend this record. Sarah Winton. You never have heard of her. She's a British soul singer. This is very, 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 very similar to Sade. Very kind of like early 90s, soul to soul, Sade kind of sound. I would recommend this. Cheap record to get, beautiful record. Anyway, I digress. Masterpiece. It is a masterpiece. Yes. Okay. I continue with other records that I played this week. Just talking shit. The priestess of German rock, the Teutonic goddess, Nina Hagen Band. It's the first record, yes, and unbeschreiblich weiblich is the jam. Yes, indeed. Somebody said that to me last week, but I concur. Unbeschreiblich weiblich, very cool song, very cool album. Really like glam rock meets punk. She was just so cool. It's just unbelievable. That was me. Oh yeah, that was you asking. Yeah. And then last week somebody asked me, something that sounds like Shadi. So I played this. Actually pulled it out of my collection. Played this record, Les Immersiers des Clous, One for the Soul. Very like that sound, that 80s sound, pop soul sound, beautiful. And this features actually. This actually features Chet Baker on trumpets. You have a look. Well, is the gatefold, but it says that there somewhere. There. Chet Baker. Chet Baker, what a legend. What a legend. Okay. Right. Beautiful record by Leon Ware. What a singer! What a soul singer! This is on Gaudy Motown. This is an absolute classic of the Motown sound, and just really a silky, beautiful record. If you like Marvin Gaye, and if you like. What does it remind me of? It's in that vein, in that sort of, sleek kind of, a little bit Philly soul like as well, a little bit like that. It's a beautiful record. Anyway, soon you'll be digging at some Klaus Nomi. Well, Teddy, I had the Klaus Nomi record, the one where the black and white cover, but I got rid of it because I just didn't do anything for me. And I'm not about to go digging for it. Hey, glowing cabbage, go down with cabbage. Love you, man. Related Fred, have you listened to Christine the Queens at all? Oh yeah. Can I pass on that? I know Christine Queens. She's a French icon. She's, but I don't know. There's something about her that's looks a little bit prefab. I don't know. I don't know. It's not my thing, I guess. But Girlfriend. Okay, I'll take a listen on YouTube and have a listen. So as a segue to Leon Ware. I revisited this album by Minnie Riperton. I think maybe a third album or second or third album, Adventures in Paradise. Really a wonderful record. Wonderful, wonderful soul record. Far and away from the Minnie Riperton cliches, of loving you. It's really a strong record from back to front. And the title track is beautiful on this. And there's a story about the line actually, because if you YouTube it, I think I've spoken about this, but there's a huge piece of YouTube footage where she gets attacked by the lion whilst posing for the photo. I mean, and she kept her cool. I mean, fuck, if a lion jumped on me, I would shit myself. M. Jones, hey, hello. Can 8. Yes. From Australia, from Melbourne. Are you from Melbourne, Can 8? What's your name? What's your first name? Surely not called Khan. Yeah. Brewster Bay is my favorite. Yes, Brewster Bay is a beautiful. Oh yeah, yes. You're right. But Alone in Brewster Bay, yeah, beautiful. Indeed, great record. Yeah, great cover. But look on YouTube. You can find a footage of Minnie Riperton getting ripped by a lion, getting Riperton by a lion. Okay. What else? Okay. I've got a couple of 10 inches in my collection. Not very many, but I've got. This is an Australian post-punk classic. It's the Models, the Cat Lunch EP, and I played the first half of that because I hadn't played for a while, and you know it's got this pop punk kind of sound. Very cool. Anyway, I'm not going to speak about this for 5 hours. It's on the Shroom label, and yes, continuing. No, that reason that I can. Man, this is a great record. I've been thinking of Raw Ayres a bit recently. I've got a few of his records, and I think, I need to really spend some time with Raw Ayres. And this is just really on point. It's killer. I really enjoyed listening to this. It's just a really funky record. Mystic Voyage. That's from 1975 on the Polydor US Press. I think it's an original. I think it's a lovely record. Who's on this? Well, his band, Byron Miller, Calvin Brown, yes. Dedicated to Julian Campbell Adderley. Mystic Voyage, indeed. Just going to put some of these records back in the box there so that I don't pile them up endlessly. But I've got still lots of records to show you, probably over half a box. So if you stick with me, we'll have a good time. Okay, this is something that I revisited this week. It's me. Look. Gel Alam. There we go. And the record is called, or in French, it's called Laisse-moi raconter. Let me tell you, sort of thing. It's a record on the Escargot label, French label, and it's kind of like an Arabic language psychedelic folk record. Escargot. Beautiful arrangements. Lots of jabuka, and then ouds and things like that, and then there's violins and guitars and organs and what have you. A great record, which you can find cheap in France. Usually, it's a beautiful release. Jamel Alam. So it's a mixed bag, from yacht rock to Captain Beefheart to Jamel Alam to Minnie Riperton. Okay, I have 5 different Raw Ayres albums, mostly from Bargain Bins, and they're very hit or miss. Yeah, you're right, they are. They can be. Hey, Ben Costello, how you going, hey, it's going, brother? Did you watch the France-Australia game? I just did. That was pretty lackluster. Raw Ayres, okay. Love the production. Yeah, everybody loves the sunshine. Yes, indeed, everybody loves the sunshine. Great track. Just discovered Kurosh Yamaga. Yes, I can't read that name. Is he from Iran? Kurosh looks like another artist that's from Iran. Going to see John Cale. Oh, John Cale. Oh yes, John Cale. Beautiful. You're lucky. What I'm going to see soon. I've just booked tickets this morning to see Mick Harvey from Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds playing Gainsbourg songs in Melbourne with a string band. It's going to be cool. It's in a couple of weeks. And I'm going with Campo. So should be fun. And it's not John Cale, but it'll be good. Australia Ireland game for the rugby, yes. I revisited this album by the Orient Express, which is like it's a bit of a psych band from they're a French band. They're French, psych band from the late 60s. Got a kind of sort of a raga kind of sound. Just a mix between, I don't know what you would call it. It's raga rock in a sense. Lots of extended jams. It could fit in my Oriental section just quite as easily as it fits in my psychedelic section. But it's a great record. It's beautiful. It's on the Mainstream label, and I would highly recommend it. It's a beautiful record. The Orient Express, very, very psychedelic and Indian sounding. I got a ticket to see Nick Cave. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I've got one of the Bad Seed, but Mick Harvey is well known for covering Gainsbourg. John Coltrane. I love that Orient Express. Was shocked to find an original at the shop. Wow, you got an original? Oh yeah, well, you've just got originals. This is just a reissue, but it's all right. It works. All right, what else have I got for you? Well, this week I played a little bit of Beach House as well, because, well, let me talk about Teen Dream. This is the CD which has been with me since it was released in 2010. 2010. I bought this just about when it came out, and in fact, this became a favorite album of Sarah's. Sarah played this to death. Played. And so when I listen to it, I get a bit melancholy because we went to see them on that tour, on that Teen Dream tour, and they were amazing. I mean, this woman who sounds like a man when she sings, she's just unreal live. So I was playing this, and I had a great time listening to it because I got this in the mail this week. This is a new Beach House record. This is one of the only new records that I've got, and it's 7. I'm not really impressed with it, I can tell you. It's okay, but it doesn't blow me away. Maybe I need to say it more times, and that's why at the moment I'm not buying records, and that's a great thing not to buy records, because I can enjoy and just sit with this for a while. And I mean, what I need to buy records for? I mean, let me catch up with the comment. The new Beach House is like the album of the year. Yeah, I don't know. I think the new Beach House is excellent. Okay, well, if you say so. Yeah, she's Michel Legrand's niece. Yeah, she is. Yeah, I knew that. It's wonderful, wonderful live. And they had this, when I saw them, and that was like in 2011, I think, or something. They had sort of a 3-piece band, drums, guitar, and she was on organ and she was singing. But they also had the drums was doubled up with a drum machine. So there was a drum machine, and the drummer was playing in time to the drum machine. I thought that was quite impressive to see, because it's not easy to do that. But keep listening. Yeah. Okay, I will keep listening. As I said, I played it once, so I can't. But it didn't sort of I didn't get the rush. It's because I'm expecting Teen Dream again. And Teen Dream is of such high level of songwriting and musicality that it's difficult to replicate. I revisited this replacement record. It's called "Don't Tell a Soul." It's one of the lesser known records. It appears to be a promotional copy of some sort. Yes, it's a promo copy. I found this in my local store a few years ago for next to nothing, and I thought, oh, just hang on to it. And it's nice. I mean, it doesn't break any new ground. I mean, it's not, pleased to meet me or let it be for sure, but it's nice to hear. Jamie says, I also saw them live on that tour. They were fantastic. My girlfriend fell in love with that record. I don't know. It's the same with Sarah. She just loved Teen Dream. She loved it. She just played it a lot. When I did my tribute video to her, I could have put that record in as well, but I didn't think of it. Try this when you unwind. Liz Story. Oh yeah, I know Liz Story. She's on the Windham Hill label, and I used to have one or two of her albums. It's very quiet, very peaceful. Tim is my favorite. Yeah, Tim is great too. Yes, you're right. But that record it's okay. It doesn't break any new ground. Another 10-inch that I really enjoy is an Australian band that we don't really speak of on the VC. It's a sports, a band from the late 70s, 80s, and they're from Melbourne, I believe. And on this EP, they play four songs by Dylan. So the songs are "Ballad of a Thin Man" from Highway 61 Revisited, "You're a Big Girl Now" from Blood and Tracks, "Fourth Time Around," which is on Blonde and Blonde, and "All the Tired Horses," which is on Self Portrait, I think. And they play also Sunshine Superman by Donovan. They're great versions. I really enjoy playing this little EP. It's a lot of fun. Just a lot of fun. Wild Beast. No, I don't know Wild Beast. Patrick, whatever your name is. Don't know Wild Beast. But I will, because I look back on the chat and I'll just make a note of it. Last week, I think it was Static Traveler. Alan asked me if I had some Joe Harriet things, and I was talking about the Indo Jazz fusions and all. And this week I played Cosmic Eye, which is Amensu de Silva, the fantastic Indian. Was he British? I know he was Indian, maybe in British Indian guitar player. This is a stellar record, really. I mean, it's really one of those, Indo Jazz fusion records that's really, it just blows you away every time you play it. Obviously, this is a nice repress on Light in the Attic. Came out on Regal Zonophone to start with, but mind you, you could never get an original press of this. That would be an impossible thing to do. But I don't care. See, I don't really care. I've got originals. I've got represses. Whatever. If the repress sounds good, who cares, really? I mean, I don't really care. I'm not a snub. I don't have the money to be a snub. I want to hear music, and that's all. I mean, if you're an OG only person, well, good for you. Great, do it. If you can do it, do it. But for me, I grab what's available to me. I have the choice between paying $30 for this or $300 for it. I know which one I'll take. If the OG is accessible, let's say the OG was $50, maybe I'll go for that. But who cares? You can't have it all. That's exactly right. Patrice. Excuse-moi, Patrice. The other day I watched Dinah's video. What's her name? Digging in the crates. She usually interacts here, but she's not here today. And she was showing this road, Cathedral et Alpes. One of my favorite French singers. Really, she's really, really wonderful. You know, she's like an 70s French PJ Harvey. You know, that's what to me it comes to mind. Kind of like maybe a cross between PJ Harvey and Patti Smith, but in a kind of a folk, kind of a psychedelic folk kind of vein. And with her husband or partner, Patrice Moulet, who was an inventor of instruments. They recorded some wonderful albums, and this is their first album as Alp. This is a great record. The least easy to find of all of their albums, but it's really great. And she was also showing. She's also talked about Africa Brass, so I just pulled it out just for fun. I played it the other night. This is really a record that works well in the evening when you know, I had a friend over and we had some tea and we listened to Coltrane. That was fucking cool. And this is, if you've never been into Coltrane and you don't know Coltrane at all or whatever. I mean, people watching this, you're into Coltrane for sure. But if you're watching this video after the fact, I would consider this top 5 Coltrane, in my opinion. I'm thinking of doing a new series of short videos. You know, I used to do Give and 10. I did lots of Give Me 10s. I'm thinking of doing something that I would call something like Take 5 or High 5, where I show 5 records of an artist or a style of music or a genre, 5 sort of key records in 5 minutes, you know, like a really sort of quick bite-sized kind of. I'm just thinking of the idea just to get some videos happening. I'm sure nobody would stop me from doing this because you're like watching videos, but so if I was doing one on Coltrane, for example, I would definitely put Africa Brass in there, as well as Love Supreme and maybe Ole. Mais tout le monde m'appelle Pat. I like reissues that way. I don't need to look for a second job. Yes, you're right, because that's right. It's. I mean, if you find original, that's great. But if you don't, you know, who cares? I revisited this ECM monster. It's a monster record. Julian Priester, Pepo and Toto. That was his name, I think, in the Mwandishi band. Love. He was the trombone player in the Mwandishi band. And this is just, this is so brooding and exciting as a record. It's really, it excites me just listening to it. Just a beautiful release. You know, full of really amazing sound. The ARP Odyssey synth, Moog 3. Oh, well, it's just such a great record. It just kills it. Bill Connors on electric guitar. Henry Franklin on bass. My word, this is just a killer record. If you don't have this, this is absolutely essential. Love is so organic. Yeah, underrated. You're right, Chris. This is a beautiful record. And a record that can be attained. I think it's a very attainable record. Reminds me a little bit of another ECM, or I think it's a Japo ECM, The Call by Mal Walden. That is a killer record too, and it's in the same kind of style. Very un-ECM, says Teddy. Well, yeah, you're right. It's not your typical ECM sound, European style. I mean, it's an American artist to start with, so you sort of get a different perspective. And actually, since I'm on ECM this afternoon or tonight, I was revisiting the Cologne concert. I just think, I mean, out of the whole ECM catalog, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I will go out on a limb. This is the best record on the ECM catalog, in my opinion. It's such a masterful piece of improvisation, and you can hear the pain, and you can hear when you hear him tapping his foot, and you can hear him whine, and you can see he's just giving his blood, like, you know, like this is a record where you hear the blood spilling, and it's so creative and just so it's on point. This is just such a great record. That Onat, this record is beautiful. Honestly, I just can't describe how beautiful this record is. It's you know, John Coltrane '68 was talking about organic. This is so freaking organic. It's a beautiful record. Music from memory, yes. Be with, yes. Yes. Very un-ECM, very ECM. Yes, thank you, Teddy. Yeah, very ECM. Spirit by Jerry. No, I don't have Spirit. I've been looking for it, but I would love to. I mean, I would love to get Spirit, but I've never come across it. On the Colin concert, I thought struggle it was to put on the yes. I mean, because he was really tired. It's really like, I mean, you can see, you can hear it. Like, you can hear it on the. Your dad has a copy, yes. Just, you know, quiet bass. I mean, I've got a system. I've got a new stereo. Like, I've got these big fuck off JBLs speakers, horn speakers. And a brand new Yamaha amp, which is like really one of the most sort of the best things for its price range, and it just sounds so crisp on this. It's just, oof, it just blew me away this afternoon. Jared's best, yes, indeed, no question. ECM's best. Okay, I continue with so. The other night, I was saying I was with a friend and we played African Brass. We also played this Anatomy of a Murder, Duke Ellington, classic film noir featuring James Stewart, Lee Remick. How can you go wrong? The movie itself is great, it's fantastic, but the Duke Ellington soundtrack is really something else. This is a very, very beat up Australian, I think, first press, beautiful flip back, which I found for next to nothing in a Salvation Army store. I think beautiful record. Hymns, Spheres, yes, beautiful record. Church, yeah, on the church organ, yes, I know, I've got that record too. It's amazing, yeah, yeah, it's hypnotic. It sort of puts you into a trance after a while. It just goes, he's wild. Okay. A record that everybody's got. I'm sure all of you have got this record. Oh, not all of you, but most of you. A latest Krung Bin, which I bought a couple of months ago. I really, really dig this record. You know, in fact, the way I discovered Krung Bin is they just appeared in my feed on YouTube. And I'm sorry, I'm a weak man, but the girl, the bass player, she was on the thumbnail, and she just looked beautiful. And I clicked on it. clickbait extraordinaire. And I just got, the music is just so, like, the drummer is so tight. And who impresses me most in that band is the guitar player. He plays licks that are just really quite complicated and quite fluid as well. This record, kind of a psychedelic, rock with a touch of funk record. It's called Con Todo el Mundo, with Everybody. I highly recommend this. Highly recommend this. Brilliant. Oh yeah, Boston Reggie, favorite of 2018. Yes, #1. Yeah. For me, it's probably My Life at the moment, but this is close second. Sons of Kemet as well is good, very good. Just bought that from Texas. Yeah, they are from Texas. Yeah. Laurelie's cool. Yes. She's beautiful. She's just like, you know, what a sexy front woman. It's she's, um, and yes, see them live will be really impressed. I'd love to see them live myself. Um, I was revisiting the first Fleet Foxes record. I mean, look, I'm on the fence about Fleet Foxes. I've got their first two records. I've got this, and I've got the whatever it's called. It's got a long title, Helplessness Blues or whatever. And I've got those records, and I almost sold them, and then I re-listened to them, and I like where this comes from. You know, I like the lineage, you know, the historical lineage. Crosby, Stills, Nash, you know, the Millennium, the Zombies, the Beach Boys, Simon and Garfunkel. There's a bit of you know, Sagittarius in there. There's a bit of, I mean, those really, really essential kind of 60s vocal harmony bands. You know, I love where it comes from. So that's why I'm keeping it, because I'm digging the first, you know, the first few songs that, you know, White Winter Hymnal. Your Protector is beautiful. Yeah, it's a great, and I love Eronimus Bosch. It's a great record cover. Lovely album. Didn't care for the last one. Yeah, that's right. I've sort of grown tired of the sound. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't buy the new albums, but I like the first two, and I'm just keeping them just because I almost sold them, as I said, but I'm keeping them. Okay, I've got still a few more. As I said, I worked on it 3 days a week, so I played lots of records, and that's why it seems like a lot, but you know, it's one after the other. And since Sarah's not here with me, I tend to film the space, a lot of the space that I'm alone with records, you know, just playing records. And that alone space is kind of sometimes difficult to film because, you know, it's uncharted territory for me. I miss her every hour of the day. This is a record that I bought on a Sydney flea market probably 10 years ago. First time we went to Sydney was probably about 10 years ago. I went to the flea market there, and I came across this Brian Jones record. Brian Jones presents the Pipes of Pan at Jujuka. So one of these sort of ethnic classic records that he went to Morocco and he recorded. It's very drony, sort of trance-inducing sound, you know. Gnawa, I think that's what the musical style of those Moroccan Berber musicians is. It's a very interesting sounding record. It's not essential by any means, I don't think, but it's got something going for it. And I hadn't played it for years. I mean, honestly, I don't remember last time we played. I remember that dig. I was at a market in Sydney, and in the same dig, I found this, The End of an Ear by Robert White, his first album, and the what's the band? German crap rock band. I've got a blank. I'm completely blank. Embryo, with the egg. You know, the one with the egg on it. I can't remember the title, but Embryo. 3 records in one dig. That was pretty good. No one's, you know, I've got lots of people there watching, but no one's commenting. It's a bit lonely when you talk to yourself on the camera, but anyway. I also revisited this great Brazilian record, Domo Rumau, on Muse. This is a fantastic record. I mean, my word. If you want to be blown away by a Brazilian record, this record just kills it. Especially, there's a couple of tracks. I mean, there's a track on side A called Family Talk. And the harpsichord on this is just, I mean, the band. I mean, Domo Rumau, okay. Then you've got Lloyd McNeil on flute, Joe Beck on guitar, Joe Adonato on harpsichord, Dom Salvador on electric piano, Stanley Clarke on bass. I mean, wow, what a band. This is jazz fusion, but it's kind of funky fusion, and it's not cheesy at all. It's just a beautiful record. And We Keep On. That's correct. We Keep On. That's it. That's the album. This is really, really good. Really fucking good. I mean, honestly. What else? A big shout out to Stefan73. Stefan, if you watch this video, if you made 56 minutes into this video, know that I still think about you on occasions because I still play the records that you send me. Stefan sent me 2 Nits records. Now, Nits was a band that I knew and liked because I had this classic album of theirs, In the Dutch Mountains. Great indie pop record, by the way. If you want a great indie pop Dutch record, In the Dutch Mountains by the Nits. But then he sent me his VCLT, he sent me Tent and Kilo. And this is great. It's like mid-period XTC, the sound. It's very, very reminiscent of XTC. It's just beautiful. It's a great record. Some new stuff, yeah. Yeah, both of these Muse LPs, yes. The Spirit of the Time is also great. You're right, JC68. This is a great record. It's from 1980, I think 87 or 88 or something. When's that from? 1979. What I'm talking about. Wow, 79. Early. I thought it was like an 80s record. Okay, I've got. Do you like folk music? Yeah, of course I like folk music. I don't think I have a folk music album to feature today now, but sort of. No, not really. No, there's no real folk music here. But I don't know. Wasn't I talking about this a second ago? That's folk music. There you go. Yes, I do. I like Linda Perrax and Jackson C. Frank and Simon Finn and Judy Seal and Bridget St. John and Dylan, obviously, Leonard Cohen, Joni Mitchell, Nick Drake, the Pentangle, Fairport Convention, John Martin, Linda, and Richard Thompson. Can I continue? Do you want me to? Oh, they're all here somewhere. Okay, I'll continue. Yeah, Atmosphere. Yeah, that's the record on Pablo, isn't it? Mike, sorry. It is the record on Pablo, isn't it? It's one that I haven't got, but I'd like to get. Pablo has got some great releases. They're very underrated. Next, Change of Pace. This is the soundtrack for Profondo Rosso. Profondo Rosso. Deep Red by Goblin. You know, you can't go past this. This is amazingly, I mean, the drumming on this. It's meant to be a horror soundtrack, but it's so funky at times. You just go, it doesn't really work. It's just a beautiful soundtrack. This here, you see in front of you, is a rare Australian pressing. Yeah, this is an expensive record, and I got it for nothing. At the time when I bought it, I didn't know what it was. And then later discovered this is a rare Australian press of Deep Red. It's a beautiful copy of it. What's some good angsty post-punk? Oh, I don't know. Good angsty post-punk. The Au Pairs. There you go. That's good angsty post-punk. Just so the movie, yeah, the movie's great, isn't it? Suspiria is great too. Those movies are just, they're not really that scary. I mean, you watch them and you go, that's nothing really like they don't really scare the shit out of you, but they're good. Yeah, Suspiria, beautiful. Psychic TV, yeah, Psychic TV is, yeah, it's nuts. Another change of pace. Penderecki and other delights. People, I'm going to say this and then I'll say it again. If you watch this video, if you see good avant-garde classical on Dutch gramophone, they're so cheap. Just buy them. It's just so much cool shit on Dutch gramophone. It's a treasure trove. This label is amazing. It really is. I mean, even the normal sort of run-of-the-mill classical records, the Herbert von Karajan records, and all these kind of Bach and Beethoven and Brahms records that you see everywhere, Dvorak, New World Symphony and those kinds of records. They're really fucking great. I mean, honestly, and this is a case in point. Great record. Like he's still alive, Penderecki. He's one of the greatest living composers. Yeah. Okay. Continue. Penderecki is not igniting anybody here. I'm just another Brazilian record which I found a little while back in my local thrift store for $1. This is Astro Gilberto. Now, the lineup is cool. It's got Mike Longo and Deodato, Billy Cobham, Eto Moreira, Ron Carter. Beautiful. It's a great record. And best of all, it's on Perception Records. It's great. It's in my local web shop, thrift store. I really want Penderecki's Threnody for the Victims of Hiroshima. Yes, you're right. That's a great symphony that he wrote there. One of my favorite albums of all time. Top 10. Yes, in my really top 10. That no question. It's an album that I've played 1 million times. Got this when I was at high school. And sort of really connected with the sounds. To me, this Depeche Mode era, I love to call them the Beatles of electro pop because they were just so melodic, so catchy and sonically speaking, Violator is as good as it gets. Really beautiful record, and so occasionally I play it just to remind myself I love this record. This morning I started the day with Aretha, Young, Gifted in Black, which this is an original on Atlantic Records, US. Yeah, great record. Let me catch up with some comments. Lovely album. Yeah, saw them on the. You saw them on the Violator tour in 1988, 1990. You are so lucky. My, oh my. Do you like Depeche Mode's latest record? I have to admit that I am very ignorant of Depeche Mode's late. I mean, the problem with a band like Depeche Mode is this. Is a band that's released some really amazing records, and I mean, the record that we're talking about is like a pinnacle. You can never do a better record than that. So, you sort of like, do I really need to bother with new stuff? I mean, I know it's a bit cynical, but when you've heard the best already, you just go, sometimes That's how I feel. But it's because there's also too much music to listen to. I mean, the music is endless. There's always new stuff coming out, and But I'll take your point. Angsty, ça veut dire quoi exactement? Ouais, ça veut dire. Ça veut dire. Oui, ça veut dire quoi exactement? C'est une bonne question. What does it mean? What does angsty mean? Something with anguish and lament. Joy Division. Joy Division is angsty. Depression, suicide. The pressures of modern life. It's angsty. Hey, Big Star 1000. Hello, Eddie Perez. Incompris. Yes, maybe a little. A Broken Frame is a beautiful record, Mike. You're right. Good morning, my hairy friend. Good morning, my hairy friend from Portland. You hipster, you are. No, I'm just saying this. It's like a kind of cliche. Portland is like the world capital of hipsters. Or is it Brooklyn? I don't know. I went to Brooklyn and I was unimpressed. Williamsburg just didn't really impress me. But I hear Portland is thick with hipsters. Suffering with aggression. Jeune et dépressif. New stuff short. No, well, no, there's some good new stuff, but Great Thunder both. Yes, you're right. Mind you, in Melbourne is hipster central as well. Really, I mean, let's call a spade a spade. If you when walking in Brunswick or in Northcote or in Collingwood, which are the hipster meccas in Melbourne, you'd see exactly the same type of characters as you see in Portland or in Brooklyn or in London or in Berlin. It's a type. People think I'm a hipster myself. I've got a beard, got glasses. Oh, look at my glasses. They're very hipsterish. And I have records. But I live in the burbs, very far away from the center of the city. I don't know if you can be a hipster by definition if you live in the suburbs. I don't know. Yeah, Brooklyn. Brooklyn was. It's funny. I went to Brooklyn with Sarah for our 15th wedding anniversary. The very day of our 15th wedding anniversary, we crossed the Brooklyn Bridge together. I went to Brooklyn, and it just left me unimpressed in every way. Austin is also a hipster mecca. Yeah, possibly, yes. In Brooklyn, they get beard implants. This is hipster to the extreme. No way. Fuck me. I'd love to visit Melbourne too. Yeah, Melbourne is lovely. Great place. I don't live in the center of Melbourne. I live in the burbs, but I can afford a house here, which is good. This house was very, very affordable when I bought it, and it's cool. It's got beams in the roof. No, it's just a house. Okay, it's a lovely house. Collingwood, go guys. Tell Christina I said fuck the Tigers. Okay, well, yeah, I will. No way. No way what? Or not? Or not? No way what? Tudor? No, it's not a Tudor house. It looks more like a Swedish house from the outside, or like a Danish house. It's like a little wooden shack, with, no, that's not Tudor. It's just beams. It just gives the character to the building. Beard implants. Have you ever been to Texas? Me, Texas? No. I've been to New York, and I've been to Minneapolis and St. Paul as well. You probably go, why? When I was at school, when I was in year 10, which is like when I was 16, I went to an exchange, school exchange, to Minnesota. I went to New York back as well, and I went to New York 2 years ago for our 15th wedding anniversary, as I said. And New York was lovely. I met Mike and Tony there. We had a great time. We went to Good Records and to Academy Records, and we had just a swell time. It was brilliant, wasn't it, Mike? As a music lover, you would enjoy Austin. Yeah, I probably would. But the world is a big place. Traveling is big on. It's one of the things that what my wife and I used to do a lot, and now I've got to try and go travel by myself. It's interesting. It's sort of like, again, uncharted territory. Let me show you some more records. What's the best city for digging? In my opinion, Paris. But it's just because I'm French, I'd say that. I love Paris. There's just so many shops, between Crocodis, Crocodias, the flea markets, Superfly Record, Monster Melodies. No, don't go to Monster Melodies. It's overpriced. Parallel, Bettino's. I mean, there's so many good shops. It's insane, and you can find some really decent records at great prices. In saying this, every time I go to France, the best records I find in my hometown, which is, like on the border to Switzerland, but it's because it's people don't look for Catherine Ribeiro records there or whatever. They don't look for those records. That's why I get them for cheap. A1 and Jazz Music Center. I didn't go to Jazz Center. Sometimes in the near future. Oh, look, Mike, I'm going to tell you right now. If you come here, don't pay for a hotel. You can just stay here with me. We should go together and overwhelm him. Oh yes, we'd play records all night long. That would be cool. Yes, Superfly is awesome. Yes, Superfly is really good. Yeah, Japan. Japan is another dimension. I think I'll go to Japan eventually, but my head might just explode. So, can I show you some more records? I've got 3 or 4 more. I was playing this last night, I think. This is a Swedish record. Algana Stridgard. Orgnos Stridgard. Jonas, if you're watching, I hope you are making fun of my Swedish pronunciation. This here, people, is a masterpiece. What is it? It's an ambient, sort of progressive folk kind of record, instrumental. It's a bit like a Tangerine Dream record, but no synths, or like a Popol Vuh record. I guess you could say Popol Vuh is the closest reference point. If you're into Popol Vuh, if you like Oceana Mantra, this record is just lit. It's brilliant. This is a reissue from 2015, and that came out in 1972. This record is amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, Eddie Perez agrees, and John Coltrane 68 agrees. You're right. Butt clenching. I love the way people talk. Butt clenching. I have an OG copy of Oceana Mantra. Good work, buddy. I had the chance, but it's too expensive. In Paris, again, we're talking about Paris. I was in Monster Melodies, and I had one in my hand. It was like 150 euros or 200 euros. And I go, fuck that. I'm not paying that money. I mean, look, to pay that kind of money for a record, you're going to have to play it a lot. And, I mean, it's a great record. But would I play it weekly, for example? Probably not. Today I was playing Sparks. If you're looking for a record to get into Sparks, this is it. Number one in heaven. Produced by Giorgio Moroder of all people. Great. The first track, the opening song, Triads for the Human Race, is a killer song. It's just, yeah, it's really Giorgio Moroder at its best. I was playing this soul record from New York, Matt Cliff. Now, this is not an original, it's a reissue. I'm not made of money, and I'm certainly not about to remortgage my house. This is a great soul funk record. Get the reissue. It's cheap enough. It's on Soul Brother Records. Kind of obscure, kind of soul funk. It's beautiful. It's not essential by any means. It's interesting. My favorite Sparks record ever. So I would agree. It's a great record. I went to La Dame Blanche in Paris. Got access to this Discogs storage area. Yeah, I haven't had access to the Discogs storage area. I know it's nearby. I know you go down the hill there. Correct me if I'm wrong. And it's very close to Crocodisc in that area. But I've never been. I don't know. Have you heard "Pass the Distance" by Simon Finn? It would turn that I have. I'll tell you why. Because it's here somewhere. If I can dig it out, probably is in my psych section. Pass the Distance. Simon Finn. There we go. So in the early days of the VC, about 8 years ago, I used to do a series called Obscure Classics. I was sort of trying to unearth or showcase some, interesting records, and that was probably in the first 5 that I did. This is an incredible record. It really is. It's psychedelic and kind of freaked out. I mean, that song "Jerusalem" is amazing. Yeah, beautiful record, amazing record. Pass the Distance. And speaking of folk music and freaking, this I was playing tonight. Tim Buckley, Lorca. Fantastic record, amazing. I just love this live chat. We're just talking and we're talking shit, and it's great. It's fantastic. Your Obscure Classic series made me have better taste. I don't know. Look, that's very subjective. Yeah, Jerusalem is beautiful. I should repost those videos. No, I look like an idiot and sound like an idiot in those videos. I could, but Tim Buckley, Lorca, my favorite Tim Buckley, the official. I used to really, really love Goodbye and Hello and Happy Sad, but I really, 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 really do like this record now. So angular, and you can hear the jazz influence on it. It's beautiful. This is what an Australian pressing, first pressing Australian. Lorca. Beautiful. Do you like Tim Buckley avant-garde stuff? Well, this is Tim Buckley's avant-garde stuff. Are you talking about Star Sailor? Yes, I do like Star Sailor. Yeah, it's a great record. And this one is amazing. Short-haired Fred. Yes, I know. Not possible. Shortless, beardless Fred. Yes, correct. Star Sailor. Yeah, Star Sailor is a good record. It's kind of, yeah, it's an acquired taste. Let's put it this way. As I keep saying about Captain Beefheart, if you listen to it enough, Ornette Coleman, nothing is impossible, my friend. That's it. The path to glory. 2 words, Ornette Coleman. Just crank it up until you get it. I promise you, things change after that. I was like that before. But Ornette Coleman just did it. They just Ornette Coleman. You could always remake this video. Oh no, please. Anyway, I've got one more record, and that's it. Believe it or not. Bach. Orgel. You know, I really, really, really love the Toccata and Fugue number in D minor. Toccata and Fugue in D minor. That is, to me, one of the best pieces of classical music. When I was a kid, I'll tell you a story. I was a kid, France. We had a French-produced cartoon series on history. It's called Once Upon a Time Man. I'm saying it's called this because it's the title in the English translation. Il était une fois l'homme, it's called in French. And the start of each episode was just an animation of man from, you know, like its very, very primary form, you know, to what it is, Homo sapiens, etc., and then to through history. And the music was the Toccata and Fugue in D minor, and I always loved that sound. I don't know why. And anyway, today I was thinking of that show. I don't know why. I was went for a walk. I was thinking to myself, I'd love to see Il était une fois l'homme again, because they were just really great shows. 1978, but they played them in the 80s in France when I grew up. And then I went home and I thought, I need to play this track, this piece. It's a beautiful piece. What a fantastic piece it is. Man, I can't believe I've been here for an hour and 22 minutes, and it's just always great to show you some roads. And I mean, you can see like there's this is the box here. I'll show you all this. So, you know, it's much better than, I reckon, it's much better than actually planning and doing a video. It takes less, you know, it's sort of less of a hindrance. You know, I'm at home Saturday night, it's nearly midnight. I've got nothing else to do. I mean, I could be in bed, I guess, but I just the jury is still there on my non-musical ventures. What non-musical ventures do you have, Grishing Thunder? I'd like to know. I was reminded of you because Alice, some days ago I listened to a few times to L'Enfant Assassin des Mouches, Jean-Claude Vanier. I just wonder if you liked it. Yes, I do. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. I like this Vanier record. There are moments on there that are just pure genius. I mean, this sort of like there's close to the, I don't know the names of the tracks because they've all got like, you know, random names, but I think the second track on the album, it's got this kind of fairground music. Oh, it's just beautiful. It's fantastic. I mean, you know, you could see Vanier. Vanier was a genius, really. I mean, my favorite album of all time is Histoire de Mélodie Nelson by Gainsbourg. I've said that many times. It still is. I love Histoire. It's just my favorite album. And that was all Vanier. I mean, really, that's his work, really. Gainsbourg walks in the studio with some sort of vague concepts of what he wanted to do, and Vanier just got the band to play. You know, yeah, you do this, you do this. I mean, listen to that. Is just this marriage between that rock band and that you know, there's vocals, that choir in the background, and Gainsbourg's voice whispers over the top of the mix, louder than everything else. That's just, it blows my mind. Back in the day, I was not sure if he's an incredible or charlatan. Yeah, no, it's very artistic. I mean, you know, musique concrète is, you know, and this, and this, and this. Love you, man. Gainsbourg, yes, the comp, yes. That's, you know, I mean, I love Serge. He's my favorite. He's just he, you know, always will be. I think there's something in that music which is so incredibly inventive. It's just genius. It's genius, and I guess it does help to be French or to speak French or to understand French well to really, really absorb it because the complexity of his wording of his he's a real wordsmith and the play on words that you get in the songs and sometimes multiple play on words, it's just amazing. And the music, you know, he's always he always reinvented himself. His reggae album, for example, is brilliant. His funk album is brilliant. I mean, you know, his progressive pop albums are brilliant. What can you say? I mean, I love you too, yes. It's a loving. Hey, just dropping by, Mark. Hello, Mark. See, Mark, Campo and I, we copied you. We copied your concept of doing that session with. I thought it's like a tribute to you guys because you do it so well. I mean, you know, we had a session. You know, do you like François Hardy? Yes, yes, yes. Although not as much as Gainsbourg, but I do like François Hardy. Which, by the way, if any of you are mispronouncing that name, you stop right now. Françoise, not François. François is my middle name. Françoise Hardy. Brigitte Fontaine, Françoise Hardy. We do an entire video just French music. Got over there. I've got like about 3 cubes of French underground music. More humor from you too, yes. Yeah, French music, things. Off the cuff, if you get a minute, an album I'd like to recommend to everyone, anyone here. Okay, actually 2. Right, so this is just absolutely brilliant. I mean, for those of you who think they like Gainsbourg and Histoire de Mille Nelson, this is the closest thing to it that I can think of. This is an absolute stellar record. You can get this for next to nothing. La Solitude. Léo Ferré, he was a poet, a communist, the voice of the people, really, but a real poet. You know, a real amazing poet. And he got this idea that he wanted to make a record with a rock band. And initially, he wanted to make a record with Jimi Hendrix. That's what he said. And then he couldn't get Jimi Hendrix, so he got Zo, French bands, kind of like the French Blood, Sweat and Tears, if you like. So he made a record with them, and it's kind of like a little bit spoken word over these kind of funky grooves. This is an amazing record. I want to recommend it to everybody because you deserve it, people. You deserve good records. La Solitude. And then I want to recommend a modern record that I really like, or a modern artist. This is a guy called, his name is Émile Sornin, but his stage name is Forever Pavot. And this is his first record. The name? Oh, it's just subtitled. You know, this guy borrows from Gainsbourg, and he borrows from François de Roubaix, who is a French soundtrack composer, and he borrows from. Who does he borrow from? He borrows from a lot from somebody else that I can think of, Bernard Estardi and people like that. Like he's got that sound. Oh yeah, I know. The Fantastic Planet guy, Alain Goraguet, and that sound. So that's kind of like Fantastic Planet sound. This is a beautiful record, and I would highly recommend Born Bad Records. This is a French label in Paris, and I bought a lot of their things, and I really, really like Born Bad. I really like that. So this is a modern record, a great French modern record, and an old one. To finish off a little bit this video, because I've been 1 hour and 30 minutes. Pierre Vassiliou. I got the Pat. I've got the new comp by Born Bad, the Vassiliou. Fantastic! What a great selection. I mean, this is really great too. Here. Where are you? Pierre. Yes. This here. Thank you for reminding me. This is fantastic. You need to speak French, I think, to enjoy it. En français. Oui, en français. There we go. Okay. I think I'll stop here. I'll tell you why. Because I've been going for 1 hour and 30 minutes. And, you know, it's midnight in 3 minutes' time. It's 11:57. I think I got to go to bed eventually. So thank you all for watching and connecting and interacting. And I'm happy to do it next week again. You know, on Saturday, providing them free. I will do this again. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Onat. Onat, you're a great dude. Dennis, thank you very much. Teddy, fantastic. I mean, how good is this technology? I mean, really, you know, we can just interact and talk. You know, tonight, it's funny, I watched the French football game, France versus Australia in World Cup, and I actually watched the game with my brother, who is in France now, and we put it on Skype, and we watched the game together, and I'm like, this is mind-blowing, what you can do. Anyway, living in the golden age. I don't know if it's a golden age, but it's got some of the aspects of where we're living is good, and some other aspects are pretty depressing. But anyway, see you people. Checking out in 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye.